Eleanor of Aquitaine, born in 1122. This woman was born to be great. Even when she was little, everyone knew she wasn't like other noble girls. Eleanor was smart, charming, and had a fiery spirit that would change history. When she was just 15, she inherited the Duchy of Aquitaine. This made her the most eligible bachelorette in all of Europe. But Eleanor wasn't just a pretty face. She was a clever politician who knew how much power she held. Eleanor's education was very unusual for a girl back then. She had tutors who taught her everything from languages and literature to math and history. This well-rounded education made her very intelligent and gave her the skills she needed to handle the tricky world of medieval politics. Eleanor's court became a center of culture and learning, attracting artists, poets, and scholars from all over Europe. The Duchy of Aquitaine wasn't just any piece of land. It was a large and wealthy area in southwestern France. Whoever controlled Aquitaine controlled important trade routes and a strong army. Because Eleanor inherited it, she became a major player in Europe, and she was ready to use her new power. She wouldn't be a pawn in someone else's game, she would be queen. Eleanor's first marriage was to King Louis VII of France. This union was not just a romantic alliance, but a strategic one, designed to consolidate power and influence across the regions. Eleanor, a young and ambitious duchess, saw this marriage as an opportunity to expand her horizons and secure her position in the European political landscape. The marriage, a smart move for both of them, happened just weeks after she inherited her duchy. This inheritance made her one of the most powerful and wealthy women in Europe, and marrying the King of France only amplified her influence. The union was celebrated with grand ceremonies and festivities, marking the beginning of a new era for both Eleanor and Louis. This made Eleanor the Queen of France. Her coronation was a magnificent event, filled with pomp and splendor as she took on the responsibilities and privileges of her new role. As queen, she was expected to support her husband and produce heirs, but Eleanor had much bigger ambitions. The young queen, full of life and big dreams, felt trapped by the French court. The rigid protocols and conservative atmosphere stifled her adventurous spirit. She longed for excitement and the chance to make a significant impact on the world, far beyond the confines of the royal palace. She wanted adventure and a chance to leave her mark on the world. Eleanor was not content with merely being a figurehead. She wanted to be an active participant in the political and cultural affairs of her time. Her restless nature and desire for adventure led her to seek out new opportunities and challenges. In 1147, Eleanor got what she wanted. The call for the Second Crusade presented the perfect opportunity for her to break free from the monotony of court life. She saw the crusade as a chance to prove her mettle and gain recognition as a leader and strategist. She convinced Louis to join the Second Crusade. Her persuasive skills and determination played a crucial role in this decision. Together, they embarked on a journey that would test their resolve and change the course of their lives. This was a dangerous journey to the Holy Land. The harsh conditions, treacherous terrain, and constant threat of enemy attacks made the crusade a perilous endeavor. Despite the risks, Eleanor was undeterred, driven by her desire for adventure and her commitment to the cause. It was very rare for a woman to go on such a risky trip, but Eleanor wasn't afraid of a challenge. She donned armor and led her troops with courage and determination, earning the respect and admiration of those around her. Her leadership skills and bravery set her apart from other women of her time. She was a great leader, encouraging the troops and giving much-needed help on the tough journey. Eleanor's compassion and resourcefulness were evident as she provided aid and support to her fellow crusaders, ensuring their morale remained high despite the hardships they faced. But the crusade was a disaster. The Christian armies faced numerous defeats, and the campaign ultimately failed to achieve its objectives. The losses were devastating, and the morale of the Crusaders plummeted. The Christian armies lost battle after battle. Everyone blamed Louis. His leadership was called into question, and the failures of the Crusade strained his relationship with Eleanor. The once strong bond between them began to unravel under the weight of their shared disappointments. Eleanor and Louis were already having problems, and things got even worse. The stress of the crusade and their differing personalities led to frequent arguments and disagreements. Their marriage, once a symbol of unity and power, became a source of tension and conflict. She had shown everyone she was strong and independent, not at all like the quiet, obedient wife people expected back then. Eleanor's actions during the Crusade demonstrated her resilience and capability, challenging the traditional gender roles of her time. She emerged as a formidable figure, unafraid to assert her authority and pursue her ambitions. When they got back to France, their marriage fell apart. The experiences of the Crusade had driven a wedge between them, and their differences became insurmountable. The once promising union now seemed doomed to fail. Their differences, once interesting, now seemed impossible to overcome. The love and respect they once had for each other were replaced by resentment and frustration. The royal couple, who had once been the epitome of power and unity, now found themselves drifting apart. In 1152, their marriage was annulled. The official reason given was that they were too closely related, a common excuse used to dissolve marriages at the time. However, the true reasons lay in their irreconcilable differences and the failure of their partnership. The official reason was that they were too closely related, but the real reason was that they just didn't get along. The annulment marked the end of a turbulent chapter in Eleanor's life, but it also opened the door to new possibilities and opportunities. Eleanor, now free from her first marriage, set her sights on a new prize, the throne of England. Her indomitable spirit and unyielding ambition drove her to seek out new alliances and pursue her goals with renewed vigor. The story of Eleanor of Aquitaine was far from over, and in fact it was just beginning. The Second Crusade was a very important time in Eleanor's life. It was a journey full of danger, hardship, and sadly, disappointment. The Christian armies, led by European kings and queens, set out hoping to take back the Holy Land from the Saracens. Eleanor, a devoted Christian, wanted to do her part in this holy war. The trip to the Holy Land was long and hard. The Crusaders faced hot deserts, dangerous mountains, and the constant fear of being attacked. Eleanor, traveling like a queen, still experienced the hardships of her fellow travelers. She gave everyone strength and hope, and her presence made the tired soldiers feel better. Despite their excitement at the beginning, the Crusaders soon faced disaster. Their armies were weakened by sickness, hunger, and arguments among themselves. The Saracens, led by the brilliant General Saladin, defeated the Christian forces over and over. The dream of taking back Jerusalem was shattered. Eleanor, deeply saddened by the Crusade's failure, returned to France, a changed woman. The experience had tested her faith and her strength. It also showed her the fighting and disunity within Christendom. Eleanor, once a young and hopeful queen, had seen the horrors of war and how fragile human ambition can be. Just weeks after her marriage to Louis ended, Eleanor married Henry, Duke of Normandy, who would soon be King Henry II of England. This union was not just a marriage, but a strategic alliance that would reshape the political landscape of Europe. This marriage, a bold and clever move, shocked everyone in Europe. The union of their territories created a formidable power bloc that many feared and respected. Eleanor, twice a queen, had again broken with tradition and secured her place at the center of power. Her influence was undeniable, and her presence was felt in every corner of the realm. Her marriage to Henry created a powerful team, uniting Eleanor's vast lands in France with Henry's English holdings. This union was not just about love, but about consolidating power and resources. Together they ruled a huge empire from the Scottish border to the Pyrenees Mountains. Their reign was marked by both prosperity and conflict, as they navigated the complexities of ruling such a vast territory. The first years of their marriage were full of passion and political strategy. They worked together to strengthen their rule and expand their influence. Eleanor gave Henry 8 children, each of whom played a significant role in the future of their dynasty, including 3 future kings of England, Richard the Lionheart, John, and Geoffrey. These children were not just heirs, but key players in the political games of the time. She was always at Henry's side, giving him advice on government and diplomacy. Her insights were invaluable, and she often acted as a mediator in political disputes. Eleanor's intelligence and deep understanding of French politics were very helpful to her husband. She was not just a queen, but a partner in every sense of the word. However, Henry was famously unfaithful, and his numerous affairs were a source of constant tension. This soon hurt their marriage. Eleanor, who had once been a symbol of strength and unity, found herself struggling with betrayal and heartbreak. He had many mistresses and children outside of marriage, which only deepened the rift between them, causing a deep divide between him and Eleanor. The Queen, once a symbol of love and loyalty, became a tragic figure of betrayal. Her sons, stuck between their parents fighting, grew to resent their father. They were torn between their loyalty to their mother and their duty to their father. Her sons, stuck between their parents fighting, grew to resent their father. They were torn between their loyalty to their mother and their duty to their father. The once loving family was torn apart by jealousy, ambition, and the desire for power. The children who had once been the hope of the dynasty became pawns in a bitter struggle. Eleanor, fiercely protective of her children, encouraged them to rebel against their father. She believed that Henry's cruelty and affairs meant he shouldn't be king. Her actions set the stage for a terrible family fight that would throw England into chaos. The conflict between Henry and his sons would lead to years of turmoil and bloodshed, forever changing the course of English history. Eleanor was especially close to her son Richard, later known as Richard the Lionheart. Their bond was forged in the fires of political intrigue and personal ambition, a relationship that would shape the course of history. Eleanor, a formidable queen in her own right, saw in Richard not just a son but a kindred spirit, a fellow adventurer destined for greatness. Richard, her third son, was said to be her favorite. This favoritism was not just a matter of maternal affection, but also a recognition of Richard's unique qualities. He possessed a blend of courage, intelligence, and charisma that set him apart from his siblings. Eleanor nurtured these traits, believing that Richard was the one who could carry forward her legacy. She saw in him a fellow adventurer, a warrior king with the courage and charm to rule their vast lands. Together they would dream of conquests and strategies, often discussing the future of their realm in great detail. Eleanor's influence on Richard was profound, instilling in him a sense of duty and a vision for a united and powerful kingdom. Eleanor supported Richard's ambitions, teaching him that he was destined for greatness and inspiring him to seek glory. She was not just a mother, but a mentor, guiding him through the complexities of medieval politics and warfare. Her teachings were instrumental in shaping Richard's approach to leadership and his understanding of what it meant to be a king. When Richard and his brothers rebelled against their father, Eleanor was Richard's biggest supporter. She believed in his cause and stood by him, even when it meant going against her own husband, King Henry II. Eleanor's loyalty to Richard was unwavering, and she used all her resources and influence to support his rebellion. She gathered support for her son, using her influence to convince nobles to join them. Eleanor's diplomatic skills were unmatched, and she was able to rally a significant number of allies to their cause. Her ability to persuade and inspire others was a testament to her leadership and her deep commitment to Richard's success. Eleanor even fought herself, leading troops into battle against her own husband. This was a rare and bold move for a woman of her time, showcasing her extraordinary courage and determination. Eleanor's actions in battle were not just about supporting Richard, but also about asserting her own power and influence in a male-dominated world. Her actions showed how much she loved Richard and how much she was willing to risk for him. Eleanor's love for Richard was evident in every decision she made, every battle she fought, and every strategy she devised. Her dedication to her son was a driving force behind many of her actions, and it was clear that she would go to any lengths to ensure his success. Eleanor's support was essential to the conflict. Without her, Richard's rebellion might have faltered. Her strategic mind and unwavering support provided Richard with the foundation he needed to challenge his father and ultimately secure his position as heir. Henry, weakened by sickness and betrayal, had to give in to his sons. The strain of the rebellion and the relentless pressure from Eleanor and Richard took its toll on him. In the end, he had no choice but to concede, marking a significant turning point in the power dynamics of the time. He named Richard as his heir and released Eleanor from prison, where he had locked her up for her part in the rebellion. This was a moment of triumph for Eleanor, a vindication of her efforts and sacrifices. Her release from prison symbolized not just her personal victory, but also the success of her son's cause. Eleanor's bond with Richard went beyond the battlefield. Their relationship was multifaceted, encompassing not just political and military alliances, but also deep personal affection and mutual respect. They shared moments of peace and tranquility away from the chaos of their public lives. She loved the arts and supported chivalry, Eleanor was a patron of the arts, and she instilled in Richard a love for culture and refinement. Her court was a centre of artistic and intellectual activity, and she encouraged Richard to appreciate and support these pursuits. She taught her son to love poetry, music, and courtly manners. These lessons were not just about personal enjoyment, but also about shaping Richard into a well-rounded and cultured leader. Eleanor believed that a true king should embody both strength and sophistication. Richard, known for his bravery and military skill, was also a talented poet and supported travelling musicians. This blend of martial prowess and artistic talent made him a unique and admired figure. Richard's ability to inspire through both his actions on the battlefield and his cultural contributions was a direct result of Eleanor's influence. This mix of warrior spirit and cultural refinement would become a key part of Richard's reign, a reminder of the lasting influence of his amazing mother. Eleanor's legacy lived on through Richard, and her impact on his life and reign was undeniable. Her teachings, support, and love shaped him into the legendary figure we remember today.